Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video, folks. I am once again back in World of Warcraft, and this time around we have gone into a different zone. We're going to continue questing here, and I think I have the right levels for the zone. And I mean, it's not so much zone hopping that I'm doing, but I do want to go back to where we were in the previous video to finish off the quest there, but I think I might need a level or two extra just to kind of give me that headspace and possible chance to actually complete and take down those elites. Just a thought there that I've got. And so what I'm going to do this episode, we're just basically going to make our way to the village in the zone. We're going to pick up the quests in the zone and just kind of do some quests. Just basically, I just intend to chill a little bit. Hopefully you don't dismount me. That would be, never mind. Yes, but before we do get into the video properly, I did want to take a couple of seconds to thank each and every one of you folks for choosing to click on this video and choosing to spend your time with me. I really do appreciate it. And of course, for me, this series of me leveling up this hunter is just a way of chilling and taking some time away from all the endgame content. I know it's been a while since I've done any endgame content. However, in truth, yeah, it's been busy, and I'm just kind of giving myself some headspace still. Yeah, if you guys been following my channel, recently my father's passed away, so yeah, it's just one of those things where, yeah, where, yeah, I mean, it does affect you when something like this happens in the family on an emotional level. So I'm just basically trying to kind of gather myself and just to relax. I don't want to push myself into something at this moment in time, but eventually we'll go back into raiding and we'll do some endgame content. I'm also looking forward to when Diablo 4 comes out. That's definitely one of my games that I do enjoy playing. I know I've not made a lot of content around it, but generally speaking, in the past I have played Diablo on and off. I would say I'm still a novice. Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't put myself anywhere past the novice level, but it is a good game. I know the story, generally speaking, and what happens in the lore, and I've, in a way, sort of enjoyed it. I've personally enjoyed Diablo 2 more than 3, although 3 wasn't really a bad game. It just, to me, didn't feel too much of a Diablo felt. Well, I could feel the World of Warcraft influences in it, which I thought was a bit that it took away from Diablo and what Diablo is meant to be, at least in my mind. So I think that's one of the reasons I didn't play Diablo 3 as much as I probably did 2 and stuff. So yeah, but enough about that. We're gonna pick up all the quests in this zone. Generally, it's one of the things I like to do, where I just grab all the quests within the log's limitations, of course, and then just start going out and questing or working towards completing as many quests. Normally, I like to return with a handful of quests and then hand them in. It's just something I've always done. And I was just thinking, and it's probably something I'm going to put into action fairly soonish. I've been looking up some add-ons that read the quest. If that's a thing, could definitely be doing that. And I think for the zone, we've got a couple of things to hand in, so we won't really get too much XP, but it's still XP. I just need to know where I need to go. Yeah, okay, it seems to be out here somewhere. There we go.
Hey there. Safe travels.
Okay, I think this area is pretty clean. So I think, oh, there might be one further up, so I'm just going to get on my ram. I remember that one very vaguely. So somewhere, no, I don't think it's this one. I think it's the hut up here. Hut house? I mean, I suppose it's meant to be a house, but it's more like a hut to me.
Well met. Light bless
There
you.
we go. So this is what it looks like. This is all the stuff we have to do. And as always, I'm going to start by working with or through the quests nearest to me. I'm just having a look at the levels or level requirement for the quest, just to kind of get my bearings to see if I think it's probably the best place to be. But I think it's alright. I think we should be able to do it. We shouldn't be in too bad of a position here. Now, after at the end of the previous video, one of the things I did do, I did go into Stormwind and I learned some new, all of my new hunter skills, and obviously applied them to my action bar. What have we got here? So as you can see, I am maxed out with engineering for the time being, and yeah, sadly, I can't go any further at the moment. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to basically get a few more levels before I can do that. I guess I'm ahead of the curve here. But that shows you how keen I am to get engineering leveled up and stay up to level with my engineering, basically speaking. I suppose I could craft some of these. Might as well start doing the bars here. Alright, I've got 19 tin. Might as well do that. And I'm going to do all the bronze that I can. So at the moment I'm using bronze. Copper and tin aren't really materials that I use at this level, so I might as well just get that done. There we go. Let me quickly check here. I don't think I have any materials to do anything. What's that? I can do that. We can do the weak flux. I don't think I can get it from here though. That's fine. If we can't, we can't. I mean, it's probably best that I hold on to it, but I'm just curious now. Okay.
For the Alliance. What can I do for you?
Yeah, you're a trainer here. Let's see, can we get anything from you?
Go with honor, friend.
No, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we've checked these guys out. That's fine. If we can't, we can't.
How are you?
I'm just having a look at what we can find around this area, because I've never actually spent any time looking around. At least last time I was here. So, yeah, just kind of getting a feel for the place. I do seem to actually choose professions that are tied into mining, to be honest. I do actually quite like mining, to be frank. And there's actually quite a few professions tied into it, which is kind of nice.
Be careful.
Okay, you've got arrows. I'm probably never going to use that. Being a hunter and having a proficiency with guns would definitely be at a bit of a disadvantage for me. A hunter, that's a dwarf. As a dwarf, basically, I have a increased proficiency in guns. I'm just kind of stocking up on things that I might potentially need. And that is one of the things we need for a quest, I believe. Alright, anyways. Let's go, I think. Yeah, I think I want to go down this way. Or up this way, actually. Go up to the north. Yeah, I feel if I do a counterclockwise motion, it's probably best. Tell you what, there's a bunch of things down here. I'll grab these and then I'll probably start moving northwards. I think it's a good way of going, because this is quite close to the village. What is that? There we go. I think it's doable. Gonna see how many times I miss, and this is one of the reasons I kind of just changed my mind quite on the spot there. Initially I was gonna head out north and then just kind of do a big circle around and come back on myself, but yeah, as you can see, we're not really struggling, although I have ripped the aggro off of my pet, which isn't really that bad because I'm leveling up my dagger skills as I have not done so. Probably would be a wise choice to do that, because who knows, that might actually save my life at some point in the future. Obviously, we're going to have to be careful here. We don't really want a death. Whilst this is not a hardcore playthrough, I do want to minimize the potential deaths. So in my mind, I suppose I'm trying to attune myself into the possibility of playing hardcore, where of course in hardcore there are set specific rules, and one of the biggest ones being death equals deletion, but also with that, the other thing is I'm not allowed to buy stuff from the auction house. Well, basically we can only use things that we find. So obviously at this moment in time, this hunter does have some heirlooms on it. We've got stuff that we bought from the auction house, stuff that I made on other characters that I sent on. We've got enchants and all sorts of things. So yeah, and if I were to do a hardcore playthrough in the unlikely event that I do get a character to maximum level, then basically I keep that character. At least that would be my logic. Notice there I specifically said unlikely, because I don't know. I'd probably I'd need a lot of work to achieve that. And I think also, if you're going to play something like hardcore, in my opinion, you have to be in the right mindset and in the zone. A simple mistake can be quite costly.
Can't start yet.
I was just thinking now, as I was fighting that skeleton, if I were to play a hunter in a hardcore mode, basically, if I were, say, to get this far, I would probably use a tanking pet. So it'd be something like a bear. That would keep aggro better, but yeah, I can afford to use a wolf here. Of course, a wolf is a bit of an increase in DPS, so it just means I kill things quicker. But then I do chance it, like this, for example, where I rip aggro off my pet. So I suppose it's not really the type of pet that would be used for tanking purposes. Yep, there you go. So when I came here last time on my paladin, these quests were actually quite difficult, I'd say. Now granted, that was the first character that I had leveled after, geez, probably a 10-year break from the game or something like that. And so I was working off memory. I think the mechanics were a bit different as well. So that was during the Burning Crusade, just as we were entering the Wrath of the Lich King, or just before Wrath of the Lich King went live, to be honest. And yeah, I challenged myself to do it. I knew it was difficult, and I knew I probably went ahead a bit of the leveling curve, but I wanted to challenge myself into difficult situations. But long story short, I ended up dying quite a few times, so it'll be interesting to see my experience in this zone now after doing that, so to speak, you know, with a, I'd say, fairly fresh memory in my mind. You know, normally things tend to get better and easier as you practice them. Oh, we got skeleton fingers. Why? Never mind. It's a game. Skeleton fingers. I'm just had this vision of this dwarf basically killing skeletons and ripping the fingers off the dead skeletons. How that would look. I just had... it was very cartoonified in my mind, okay? In my defense, it was very cartoonified. But I just had this cartoonified image of this World of Warcraft dwarf killing skeletons and ripping fingers off of them. It's just, yeah. And then, you know, one thing led to another. We've got some of these dudes. So I guess we can sort of go between the two zones, I guess. Two villages, two zones. I don't know. Is that a zone? Whoops. Sorry about that, folks. I did hit the mic there. Hopefully it's not too noisy. Areas? Yeah, they call it. I don't know. Is it part of the same farm? I didn't read the quest, so I don't know. I should have done that. Should have read the quest, but yeah, I was just keen to get into the action. There we go. This is a place I need to be careful, because these guys do wander about. And whilst I could probably deal with two of them, I would rather not. I'll be safe here. Like I said, we're practicing for the real deal. Now, I'm not starting a hard mode playthrough because I don't want to open up too many tasks for myself. I'll give myself too many tasks and then not complete them. So I am willing to focus on getting this leveled, this hunter leveled, and probably after that, the next thing I'd probably do, just as a way of chilling. And you know, as I play with that mentality more and more, I'm finding it easier to actually... it's difficult to describe the feeling, right? Because when you put so much time and effort into a character to get to, say, for example, this level, somehow you become attached to that because you invested so many hours of your time trying to get this character leveled up. Now, obviously, in hard mode, in hardcore, if you die, your character's deleted. That's it. That's the end of that. And it feels like you've wasted your time at the end of that. So I basically, by doing this, I'm kind of training my mindset not to I don't know, to have that feeling that, I don't know, is it remorse? Do you call it remorse? Regret for dying, for playing, for that sensation that you've wasted your time. So I'm trying to kind of add that into my repertoire of feelings for this game, so to speak. I mean, yeah, I probably could have explained that better, but yeah, I guess you guys kind of understand what I mean. It's like when you spend so much time working on a task and getting to a certain point, and then all of a sudden that reward that you're working towards, you know, the completion of that task being the reward, of course, as you're working towards it, that task, something happens to it and it disappears. It just feels like you wasted your time. And yeah, I'm trying not to look at it in that way. I think I'm there now from an emotional and logical point of view. So if when I do embark on that journey, you know, I'm not gonna feel too sad for losing characters, and I think it'll be quite cool actually. Albeit, I'll probably be stuck in the starting zones for quite some time now. From what you guys have seen so far on the channel, I haven't really played a Horde character. That is definitely an option. And I'm going to say that I am quite partial to the Alliance. And the story, the reason behind that is actually the story. I quite like the Alliance storyline, if that makes sense. When I first started playing World of Warcraft, to me, at that mindset, at that time, and my mindset, the Alliance were the good guys, the Horde were the bad guys. And I wanted to play the good guys. But I started to like the Alliance's storylines, and that's what kind of kept me playing Alliance. Even though the best players were always on the Horde side. But you see, I played it for the story. So I'm going to say right off the bat, whilst I do know some of the Horde story, I don't know much about it. And I feel like, you know, I've kind of been unfair towards the Horde sub. That is definitely an option. I think the other thing is I like the models for a lot of the characters. No, I think personally that the humanoid designs for males, so the human males, are a bit warped. I'm not a big fan of them. Females are better in terms of proportions, of course. And there's certain like characters like the gnomes. I don't get the gnomes from a design perspective, if that makes sense, which is probably why I don't play a gnome. I do like the Draenei, both the male and the female, although I think the male looks a bit too big for most mounts, and it almost reminds me of, so of course by this I'm referring to the classic era mounts, so all of the Alliance mounts, and particularly the land mounts, not so much the flying mounts, but the Draenei tend to look like, in my mind, like basically as if King Bowser was riding a donkey, so to speak. It just looks a bit wrong, but I do like the design for the Draenei, for example. I like the design for the elves, although I think the males should have been improved. They feel, I feel like they could be better, could have been better designed, if that makes sense. Personal choice. What other factions? Like I said, the gnomes, I don't quite get them. I'm sure it's an interesting class and a class character. Race, that's the one. Jeez, my English today. Yeah, I'm sure it's an interesting race. It's just like, it's funny to me that like something so small can be a warrior, for example. It's that small that most bosses in dungeons could just simply stomp on them and that's it, flatten them. They'd be a pancake. Doesn't matter how good a warrior you are, if you get stomped on by a boss, technically, yeah, you're gonna be flattened. So that's one of the things that yeah, my mind kind of thinks about every time I see a gnome. What else do we have? We've got the humans. We've got. Do you know what? I just on that topic. I remember when Cataclysm came out and how much I actually enjoyed the Wargul. I thought that was pretty cool. The fact that you could basically be your own mount, so to speak. You could basically go on all fours and just run at the same speed as a mount. I thought that was so nice. And I even like the story for it, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think if I were to, or what I would like to, at least in my mind at this moment in time, to try if I were to do a horde character, it would probably be an orc. I like the design for the orcs, if I'm honest. Not so sure about the Tauren. I do like them. They look pretty cool design-wise. But again, the Taurens have a very similar problem to the Draenei males, really, in my mind. Not sure how I feel about the trolls. The trolls, I feel, yeah, feel a bit cringy to me. Mostly for the accent, the bad Jamaican accent at times. So yeah, they feel a bit cringy. The undead, I don't know. I'd probably play a troll over an undead from a design perspective, but then the undead have cooler classes that are more up my alley, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of the way I would describe it. Oh yeah, we forgot about the blood elves. So yeah, I like the blood elves. That's actually the best looking faction, if that makes sense, in the game. I like the design for the cities. I like everything about the blood elves, to be honest. So you know, blood elf is definitely an option. And yeah, I definitely forgot how many of these quests with relatively low drops there can be in the zone. First time I played it, it just felt like a very long time. Like the drop rate was ridiculous. At least that's how it felt. However, though, from the Burning Crusade into Wrath of the Lich King, the simple fact that I can just use a vein once to get all the resources out of it is definitely an improvement. Definitely a good quality of life improvement. In the past, you had to keep on picking at it, and you'd get one of something or something like that. And yeah, I'm glad they made that change. Feels a lot better and a lot less tedious. So what's nice, and you will see some misses, but those are from my pet. Myself as a hunter, I'm actually not missing that much, despite these characters being a higher level than me. I do wonder though, is there anything of value here? Check this out. Those eyes look so creepy. Let's have a look. Yep, hello. Yeah, I just wanted to have a look inside that little cave and see if there's anything there that might potentially interest me, just because I was in the area. No particular reason. But yeah, I'm gonna go back basically to the village, and I think I'm gonna call it a day here. I realize this might potentially be a bit of a shorter video. Yeah, okay, there's nothing really of interest here. I just kind of second guessed myself here. Like, did I see anything? Did I miss anything? So I just came back in here. I mean, I already aggroed half of the place anyway, so yeah. And of course there's also this... Ah, that's what it is. That's what I was looking for. So I could see it on the mini-map, but I couldn't tell what it was. I thought it was inside and all that. Okay, got it. Just being greedy. But yeah, it's so nice that we're not missing too much. It definitely makes a big difference. When I played this zone with my paladin, one of the more painful things, and bear in mind this was my first character, this paladin that I'm on about, one of the downfalls was the amount of times I would miss on both spells and melee attacks. So obviously that led to my downfall quite a few times here. But now this is definitely a much more improved experience, and I'm actually enjoying killing things, really. Alright, keep it zoned out because that's the way I like it. And I think basically I'm going to turn in the quests here and just log out. Yeah, today's going to be a bit of a shorter video than normal. If you guys have a specific preference for the time length of the video, please let me know. I'll try and stick to that, but normally I try and stick to about 50 minutes. This time around it's just 30 minutes, and it's just because that's how I feel, how much I feel I can cope at the moment. So slowly working my way up to what I used to do, but yeah, it's just the way it is. Thank you all so very much for choosing to come and join me in this video. I really do appreciate it. It does mean a great deal to me. And yeah, I'll see you folks in the next video. Until then, as always, stay safe, everyone.